Sorry we're late. It was my fault. There were technical difficulties, something with my upload speed with my Wi-Fi, but we're here. I'm Grant Cohn. I'm joined by Nick Newman and Maverick Pallack. We are the All49ers Roundtable today. We have 8 topics to talk about. They're all very interesting. And then we're going to do what most of you are here for, trivia. So let's get through it so we can get to the fun part, shall we? All right. DeMeco Ryans, the newest defensive coordinator for the 49ers. What's his toughest task going to be right off the bat?
I can start on this one. His toughest task right off the bat is going to be to pick up where Robert Sala left off. And that's a little bit unfair to say because Robert Sala got a head coaching job for a reason. He's a phenomenal defensive coordinator. He's a great leader. But this 49ers team is built to win now. There's not a lot of time to go through the growing pains of a new defensive coordinator. So that's what DeMeco Ryans is up against. He needs to pick up right where Saul left off, not necessarily have a top 5 defense and do the things he did this past year with the injury-riddled roster. So that's going to be his greatest challenge. He needs to step in right away, and his defense needs to perform at a high level because, again, this team is ready to win now.
I think the tough thing will be coverages and maneuvering with the secondary. It could be a whole new secondary besides Jimmy Ward next year. We don't know. And I think that will be difficult for a first-time defensive coordinator. But he's a linebacker. He's used to making calls right before the play. So I think that does play to his advantage. But I'd say the secondary is going to be tough for him because I think Sala did really well with that when Sherman wasn't in the lineup and he could get a little more versatile in his play calling. I think that's when the defense really took off. But both times, they had Sherman and there was a leader on the field, or Sala got to mix up his coverages. DeMeco Ryans probably won't have Sherman or that much ability to mix up coverages. Good
answers. To me, there's so much that's going to be tough for Ryans off the bat. First of all, a lot of times defensive coordinators, like what separates the good ones from the great ones is how much they know offense. Like Sala got to learn offense a lot the last 4 years being around Kyle Shanahan. Maybe DeMeco Ryans did too, but I'm sure he knows Sala's defense. How well does he know offense? How well can he game plan week to week? How quickly can he look at whatever team he's facing and be like, okay, I got to take away this is what I got to worry. Sala's very good at that. So game planning and then calling plays during the game. I mean, he did it as a linebacker, but this is different. Halftime adjustments, all that stuff. And then I think the cherry on top, the reason why it's such a tough job to fill is the leadership that Robert Sala provided the team. He was like a coordinator plus. He was almost like a co-head coach. And you saw when Joe Staley congratulated Robert Sala last night on Twitter. What did he say? He's a leader. This guy is a leader. He's ready. So that's an offensive player who didn't know about, Sala's coordinator acumen. They didn't work together like that. He just knew that Sala was a head coach material. He's a leader. So it's going to be Ryans is going to have to fill that void as well. And maybe he can. As Sala and Sherman and Shanahan have said, they see him as a future head coach too. So he could do it. It's just a lot for a first-time guy. Yeah.
Fair.
I'm not trying to be negative, though, because he's gotten like the seal of approval from all the people that we respect on the Niners, all the people who would be in a position to actually know, including Sherman. Although maybe Sherman just says whatever, depending on who's paying him. What will the Niners miss most about Robert Sala?
This is going kind of off of what you were just saying, Grant, and I think they'll miss his on-field leadership and just energy. Last season, the Super Bowl run, the moment I figured out this defense was here to stay and this team was a playoff contender was that early season Rams victory when you saw Sala jumping on the sideline with all the energy. And that was the early on big win of the season, and I think they'll miss that with Sala, with having that energy. But then again, DeMeco Ryans can repeat that if Chris Kostrick. I think he's still lined up to stay. Is that correct? And as long as that stays true, I think they'll still be able to do some good things on defense.
Yeah. Again, I went back and watched Sound FX. DeMeco Ryans as a player, when he's mic'd up, he brings that high energy that Robert Sala brought for the last 4 years. So I actually think that's something that DeMeco Ryans can match right off the bat is that energy, that intensity on the sidelines. And you can tell when someone's naturally energetic versus when they're trying to force out energy that's not genuine. DeMeco Ryans is a genuine energetic individual. And that's something that I'm not necessarily concerned about right off the bat. I'm more concerned about talking about what they're going to miss with Robert Sala now being the head coach of the New York Jets. What they're going to miss on the defensive side of the ball is the consistency, because you don't know what you're going to get with DeMeco Ryans. It's a huge unknown. Yes, he's been around for the last 4 years, but Robert Sala was very, very, very good. Great for the last 2 years. And he was pretty good in 2018, although that team had the huge knock where they had the least amount of interceptions in NFL history. He shed that reputation of being a guy on the hot seat relatively quickly. And he proved this past year that it wasn't solely because of the pass rush, having Nick Bosa, having Dee Ford. So the unknown is what's going to hurt you the most with having DeMeco Ryans. Is he going to pan out? Is he not? There's risk there. They're going to miss right off the bat, knowing that there's a solid defensive game plan in place week in and week out.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's possible that Ryans is a natural leader, and he seems like he brings a lot of energy. It's possible he could fill the void that Nick, you're a little fuzzy. You might want to leave and come back in. I was just saying. That's why it's possible that DeMeco Ryans will fill the energy void, will fill the leadership void. But what I don't think he's going to be able to do right away is fill the brain void that Robert Sala's leaving. I think Robert Sala's ability by the end to game plan, to figure out exactly how to shut down an opponent and then adjust mid-game was expert level. And I'm thinking that it's going to take Mr. Ryans a few years before he's at that level of a coordinator. He might be a natural leader. He might be, energetic, but Sala is like a master level coordinator at now. He wasn't 4 years ago, but he is now. And Ryans, that's going to take some time. I mean, the guy, Sala was figuring this stuff out by himself too. There's no defensive head coach over the top telling him what to do. And now Ryans has to do that. He could call Sala midweek, but Sala's got his own problems, man. He's worried about the Jets. So I will see what Ryans got. I'm curious.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Which players will Robert Sala bring with him to the Jets? And there could be a lot. So let's go through it.
Is my connection a little better? Am I looking like
Let's see. Much better.
How are we?
Much better.
Man, there is a lot of players that can follow Robert Sala to the Jets. And something that I'm worried about that no one is really talking about is players gravitate towards Robert Sala regardless of what side of the ball you're on. What side of the ball they're on. If their offense, defense doesn't really matter. You talked about Joe Staley last night sending out his praise to Robert Sala. That's an offensive lineman. So I think we can learn very quickly that players in the 49er free agents are going to gravitate towards Robert Sala, and they can lose a bunch of players. The Jets have the third most cap space in the NFL. So you're looking at guys like Kendrick Bourne, who are going to make sense for LaFleur, Kyle Juszczyk. There's so many options for the Jets to really just swoop all of the four. It's going to be like the 2021 49ers of the New York Jets kind of a thing, where a lot of players really could leave. Jaquaski Tart, K'Wan Williams. I saw Richard Sherman respond to a tweet today that K'Wan's from New Jersey or from New York, somewhere up there on the upper East Coast. So a lot of players can follow Robert Sala. The list goes on and on and on. I'd be worried about any pending 49er free agent following Sala.
I was looking at the Jets free agents yesterday, and they have a lot of linebackers. Fortunately for the 49ers, their two top linebackers aren't free agents this offseason, but they do have three safeties that are free agent. I think Jaquaski Tart would make a lot of sense for them if they're willing to overlook some of the injury history. Tart has been a really good player on the field, and I think that'd be huge for the Jets to get him in there. And then, K'Wan Williams, because their slot guy, Brian Poole, is also a free agent. So they have an opening for a slot corner, and we know K'Wan Williams would fit that. If they want to bring back Brian Poole, that would work too, because he's familiar with that Falcons system as well from their Super Bowl run. And so I think K'Wan and Tart would both make a lot of sense.
Good names. Good name. I think K'Wan is like a stone cold lock to go to the Jets. Just a freaking lock. Who's the other person you said?
Tart.
Mm-hmm. See, I'm going to go out on a limb and say he goes with Joe Woods to Cleveland. That's my prediction, and I base it on absolutely nothing. But I think one of the two. And what's interesting, what people got to realize is the Jets can outbid the Niners every time. The Jets have $70 million in cap space, and Niners have like 29. So the Niners might really want Jason Verrett. If the Jets want him more, he's going to New York. I'm not saying it'll be Jason Verrett because he's very expensive for a guy who's 30 and had those injuries. I do think Richard Sherman will go. I think that will be the leader of a very young team. And remember, they're not necessarily going to win in 2021, so you're not worried about – I just think Richard Sherman's going to go, even though he's kind of done. Maybe he'll play safety. Maybe he'll do something. That's a very young team. I think he'll go. I wouldn't be surprised if Ahkello Witherspoon went as well. And Bourne and Juszczyk, I mean, I would think Bourne for sure, because I think LaFleur's been his guy for 4 years. He was a wide receiver coach, a passing game coordinator. Bourne, yeah.
How about Jordan Reed? They have a lot of tight end problems over there. Chris Herndon has been supposed to break out for the last 3 years and never did. And then they have a bunch of other blocking-ish tight ends. So Jordan Reed would be a good veteran weapon too.
Agree. What? He's from Connecticut.
They picked Becton in the first round of this past draft when he was playing left tackle. So maybe the one free agent you look at and be like, okay, this is probably not a possibility for the Jets is Trent Williams. So
yeah, they're probably not in the market for Trent Williams.
Yeah, but if you look at all the other free agents, you can make an argument for them signing with the Jets. Like it makes sense one way or another.
Every single one.
Valid. Every single one of them, except for maybe Trent Williams, which is crazy.
Honestly, if they wanted to be jerks, they could get Trent Williams too.
They probably
if they want to be jerks. Yeah, they really could do it.
They probably could. Yeah.
All right. Boom. Who benefits most from D'Amico Ryan's promotion?
I think
anywhere you want with this.
I think Fred Warner benefits a lot, and so does Dre Greenlaw. But Fred Warner wants that big contract. He's deserving of a big contract, and you would think D'Amico Ryans is one of his biggest advocates in the organization, and he keeps him around. There would have been an issue, and this is just speculative, but if they brought in an outside defensive coordinator, who knows what his relationship is with middle linebackers. Some teams like to put more money into their cornerbacks and pass rush rather than middle linebackers, and we know D'Amico Ryans likes Fred Warner, so I think that helps him in terms of salary negotiation.
Milf Hunter really liked your answer. Sorry, Nick. What's up?
No, that Maverick.
My mom's watching. Grant, don't.
Sorry,
do that.
I don't know what that meant. I don't know what that means. Nick, go ahead.
Well, on that note, Maverick nailed it. He's a former linebacker, an all-pro linebacker, a Pro Bowl linebacker. He's going to all the linebackers that he's coached are going to benefit from this one way or another. Fred Warner this helps his negotiation tactics because this is D'Amico Ryan's guy. He has a huge hand in the development of both Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw, who are making their way towards becoming one of the best linebacking tandems in the NFL. So if you were to ask me, what you're asking me, who benefits the most from D'Amico Ryan's promotion, it's Fred Warner and his bank account because that's his guy. That's his guy.
One more time, I think you should bounce and come back in because you're a little fuzzy. I'm just letting you know. And while you do, let me go full screen so people can't tell. Okay, here we go. So the person who benefits most, you guys made the compelling arguments for the linebackers. I'm going to give a smart ass answer. The person who benefits most from D'Amico Ryan's promotion is Kyle Shanahan, because the media and the fans and everyone is going to be focused on nitpicking and critiquing D'Amico the next couple of years instead of the head coach / offensive coordinator / general manager / emperor of the team, Kyle Shanahan. It's another person to take a lot of the flack for when things don't go well. So it's always good to have someone like that if you're Kyle Shanahan. So that's my I don't know. That's how I feel. Kyle benefits. Everyone's going to be talking about D'Amico. Every time they lose, oh my God. D'Amico, it's coming for you. Anyway.
Lots of pressure on D'Amico Ryan.
Lots of pressure. Yeah, you only have to maintain a top 5 defense. Good luck. What does Mike McDaniel's alleged proposed promotion mean for the 49ers offense? If you don't know, it seems like the Niners are promoting him to offensive coordinator, basically to keep him. He's not going to call plays, but it's a half step up. He was a running game coordinator before.
Yeah, I think it's just a move to keep him happy, give him a little pay bump, increase his title, because it sounds like he was going to take the Miami Dolphins offensive coordinator job, or he was in the conversation to potentially land that job. So all it is he gets a nice little title, a nice little pay bump. Nothing more than that, because Kyle Shanahan's still going to run the offense.
Yeah, I think Kyle will definitely still be the play caller if McDaniel is promoted. And I know some people might think that's weird that even if you have an offensive coordinator, that the head coach stays play calling, but that's common now in the NFL. I think Sean McVay has done that for a while. Andy Reid has a lot of times in his career been the play caller, and I think Kyle can still do that. Like Nick said, I think it's a pay bump and a little more experience for his business card, his resume, because you see that a lot in baseball, at least with general managers. The general manager will get promoted to the president of the team, baseball ops, and then the assistant GM gets promoted to general manager. But Billy Beane was still in charge of the A's, and David Force was the GM. That happens a lot in other sports as well.
Okay, look, you guys made great points, and I can't really argue with you. I'm just going to take a leap and assume that although it is basically honorary and it's kind of just for his business card, that he does have more power in game planning now, that he has a little bit more influence, that instead of sharing the game planning duties with Mike LaFleur and whatever his vision was for that week, it's now basically McDaniel. So I'm just guessing. I have no idea. I'm just guessing if he has a little bit more influence and he really was the run game guru, that maybe this means the Niners commit to the running game a little bit more consistently, and it's a good thing all around. Because the thing that would make me pull my hair out the most watching this team, and I don't even root for it, is when they would just inexplicably go away from the running game. When it's what suits their offensive line, it's what suits their quarterbacks, it's what they're built to do. All of a sudden, they'd fall in love with the pass game. It's like, is this Mike LaFleur's fault? Is this the work of Mike LaFleur? So maybe Mike McDaniel here will get the Niners back to running the ball 40 times a game like they did in the NFC Championship game last season, and they'll get back to being 14-2, 13-3. It's possible. That's all I'm thinking. But maybe not. I don't know.
So does this make getting our third running back more important? Do you think if Mike McDaniel gets more responsibility, you have Mostert and Jeff Wilson atop the depth chart, but both have had some durability concerns? You think they still roll with those two?
I like Hasty too. And I feel like you just sign 2 undrafted free agents every year because it works. I mean, you could draft Najee Harris, but why would you do that when the other thing works and it's available? That's the way I look at it. Najee Harris would be cool though. He would be cool. He's pretty good. What do you guys think? Who's going to take Najee Harris, and how big of a mistake is that?
Yeah. If you're ready to win the next 3 years, I don't think rookie running backs. I know Vish has commented this a lot. As long as they're on their rookie contract still, drafting a running back isn't the worst thing. It's pretty good. But once they get that second contract, then kind of kills you. It is a hard pill to swallow to draft a guy knowing you're not going to give him a second contract, though.
Yeah.
Injuries.
If you select him in the first round, you have the 5th round option, the 5th year option, I should say. But to Grant's point, when you're pumping out running backs and having successful running backs play for you the way the 49ers have over the last couple of years, it doesn't make sense for them specifically to draft a running back in round 1 when you have so many other needs.
Also, I think the nature of the running back position, it just takes too many hits. It's injured too much to spend a top 15 pick on any running back. Look, I mean, to me, Saquon Barkley was the most talented running back to come out in forever. Or if you don't think it was him, it could have been Ezekiel Elliott. Like, Barkley's hurt. Elliott's pretty much done. Like, I just don't think it's ever worth it.
Fournette.
Fournette. I mean, So, I mean, if Derrick Henry had been a top 5 pick, you could say he was worth it, but that's kind of the exception. I don't know. Which 49er will be the next head coach?
Oh, man, that's a tough one. And this is all coaches, all players, anything's up for grabs, right? In
Training staff, Jed York, whoever you want.
I'm going to go with the man, Grant. I'm going to go with DeMeco Ryan. DeMeco Ryan seems like the easy answer, right? He kind of accelerated his path to get to where he is right now, being a defensive coordinator. He was a Grant Cohn in 2017 quality control coach, right? Before he became a linebacker coach. Look at him now. Look at him now. He's on the fast track to becoming potentially an NFL head coach. And if I remember correctly, Andy Reid said DeMeco Ryans has the ability to become an NFL head coach. So that's who I'm going to go with. He's the safest bet. If I had to put money on it, I'm going to go DeMeco Ryans.
I think DeMeco Ryans is definitely the best choice of the assistants. But if I had to just throw a player out there, I'd say the most likely you want to say Nick Mullins?
No.
Oh,
No, I wasn't going to say that. I think someone else. Who?
Oh, you think someone else? I was going to say Sherman could be.
That's what I was going to say. I think
Okay,
Richard, if he wants it, he could be.
Yeah, he also could be a great broadcaster. So it's really wherever he wants to go, I think.
I agree. If he could be, I'm sure Robert Sala would love to have him as either a DB or a quality control coach on his staff. Like, he would have an instant quality control position. They'd instantly promote him to DB coach the next year. And then within a couple of years, he'd be a court. Yeah, he'd be on the D'Amico Ryans fast track. Absolutely. Yep. But Nick Mullins too. I mean, the only difference is that Nick Mullins is like 10 years younger. But I don't know if he's going to be an NFL head coach. He might just go back and lead Southern Miss to the glory, back to the glory days. But one way or another, that dude is going to be a football lifer, which is what Shanahan likes about him to begin with. I mean, to me, like, Jimmy Garoppolo is like one hit away from being like a full-time Calvin Klein model, and Nick Mullins is the football lifer. You know what I'm saying? So that explains that. All right. I see Jimmy Garoppolo as Derek Zoolander. I don't know if that's unfair, but basically when Jimmy Garoppolo sits at the podium and like kind of smiles and says nothing, I'm like, that's Zoolander. Like, you're not even listening. I love that about you, though. Anyway, and I mean that in the nicest way, because who doesn't like Derek Zoolander? Great guy. He also started the Center for Kids Who Can't Read Good. Anyway, should the 49ers trade up for Penei Sewell? Maverick, why don't you – did I even pronounce that right? How do you pronounce it?
Oh, well, at least when I was at Oregon, it was Penei Sewell.
Penei.
Yeah. But, I mean – pronunciations change all the time when you hit the NFL. Jadeveon, Clowney, everything. I don't know, but I remember as Penei. But I was there when he was a true freshman at Oregon before he started a game, and I remember he was the buzz of preseason talk. Is this guy's going to be great? He's going to be a future first-round pick. Everyone else messed up not getting him, and first year, everyone knew, this guy's going to be a first-round pick. He's great. Oh, wow. He's a good person to talk to. Everyone likes him. I don't see how Sala would interview him and not want to take him immediately. Same with Miami. Same with Cincinnati. They're going to fall in love with this guy on an interview. He's a good human, and he is a massive human. Just watch his tape as a left tackle. He's one of the best offense. I think if he played this year, he would have been the hands-down best prospect like Chase Young was last year, like Nick Bosa was the year prior. Penei Sewell's that good as an offensive lineman.
Is he Trent Williams good?
I mean, I think Penei Sewell will be a top 5 left tackle by year 3.
Is he Mike McGlinchey good? Sorry, Nick, go ahead.
No. I lost my train of thought there with that last McGlinchey comment. No, you're good. So as far as the 49ers go, trading up for Penei Sewell, you save a lot of money if you trade up for him and not having to pay Trent Williams, which is why I think you would do that move. But
or consider it,
You consider it. It also depends where you're moving up to. You're not going to trade up from 12 to 2 to draft a left tackle. I wouldn't do that. I would not advocate the 49ers to do that. But if he falls to that 7 or 8 range, and the good thing is free agency happens before the draft and Trent Williams signs with another team, then yeah, you do it. And maybe it becomes way more of a realistic option trading up to 5 even for your left tackle if Trent Williams leaves. So you'll know what you have to do by the time the draft rolls around. But as of now, no, I'm not trading up for Penei Sewell.
Yeah, you can't. But, God, he would fix so many problems for the 49ers. They wouldn't have to worry about Trent Williams. They could let him go and just have a cheaper replacement who's just as good. Or they could keep Trent Williams and they wouldn't have to worry about Mike McGlinchey, who apparently they think they can salvage. I'm skeptical. So it would make things really, really simple for the Niners, but it would cost everything and they can't do it. And also, I think it's not out of the question that the Jets would just take him with the second pick. Even though they took Mekhi Becton next year, the idea of having Becton on one side and Sewell on another would really be a way to help your young quarterback, both in the run game and the passing game. It's possible. And then maybe they could even trade down a spot or two and take him if teams are really looking for Zach Wilson and Justin Fields. So that might be the Jets guy. Even though they took an offensive tackle last year.
I think if Cincinnati even catches wind of another team trying to trade up for him, they desperately need to go get Penei Sewell because just their offensive line is not great. Yeah, and
Joe Burrow ruined.
Yeah, I think there will be plenty of competition to trade up for him if the Jets trade back.
All right, final question, and I don't really know what the question is. Okay, let's put it this way. Deshaun Watson is doing something an NFL player never really has done, because the NFL is it's the shield. It's coach driven, franchise driven, front office driven league. The NBA is a player driven league. So what Watson's basically taking the James Harden playbook, the Kevin Durant playbook. I don't want to be here. I want to leave, and I'm going to make sure that that's happening. It started off when he wanted to pick the coach and the general manager, which is, fair. At the same time, maybe that's not what he does well. Maybe he's better at playing quarterback than picking front office. I don't know. Anyway, he's pissed. He just tweeted out that his anger level is at 10. And so I guess the question is he justified? Is he a diva? And do you want a quarterback who complains publicly like this? I mean, I guess in the NBA, this is nothing really unusual about what he's doing, but in the NFL, this is like new. So is there anything wrong with this, or is this just the next evolution of free agency?
You mentioned a key word in your question, justified, and that's what really stands. Is it justified? I think that's what we have to answer. And there was I think Adam Schefter just tweeted this out when DeAndre Hopkins was traded. His anger level was at a 2, supposedly, and the fact that it was only at a 2, and that's according to sources close to Deshaun Watson, who then passed that message on to Schefter, Rappaport. You traded away a top 3 wide receiver in football and got pretty much nothing in return. David Johnson. How, as a star quarterback, could you not be more angry than that? And there's just a lot of turmoil in the Houston Texans franchise, I think, just from comments that have been made in the past. There's questions regarding the ownership. There were some questions regarding responses to social justice things going on. So there's a lot going on there where it does seem like maybe this particular case is justified, because Deshaun Watson has always struck me as a high character guy. He doesn't seem like a guy that's all about me. If you look at when he talks during his Texans press conferences, he had the entire Texans fan base convinced to the bone that he was going to be a Texan for life,
Yeah.
And then all this stuff comes out. So there's some question marks there. Maybe he was putting on a front. But the key word, justify, I do think it's justified. And I don't think this is going to be a growing trend in the NFL, because you nailed it. This is not the NBA where players literally drive the NBA. This is a league that goes back a very long time. And I don't know what kind of ripple effects this will cause, but I do think it's every bit justified. And it's fine for Deshaun Watson to feel the way he does. He's the best quarterback that franchise has ever had. A top 3 player already with Andre Johnson and JJ Watt. He means so much to that organization. And then to kind of have your owner, whoever it was, say you're going to be involved in the decision-making process because we want to keep you happy, and then turn around and have none of that stay true, that's an issue. So I do think it's justified to an extent, and I would welcome Deshaun Watson with open arms if he somehow ends up in San Francisco.
Maverick, what do you think?
It's hard to follow that up. I agree with a lot of what was said. I have no problem with what Deshaun Watson is really doing, as long as he's. I mean, I think a lot of people were blindsided by the DeAndre Hopkins trade, and if he was truly at a 2 compared to what his anger is now, that's pretty big, because we saw what DeAndre Hopkins can do in an offense, and I think Deshaun Watson is one of those guys that, he likes his money, but he also wants to win. And there's really no direction with the Texans. I know they just hired a new GM, so they have a new direction. But if he doesn't agree with that, I have no problem with wanting to go with another area. If you disagree with the way he's doing it, that's up to you. But you got to do something, I think, if you're in disagreement. You can't just sit there and let things happen.
Okay, fair. Let me try to disagree with you guys here. Let me see if I can do it. All right. He definitely should be talking behind closed doors to everyone in the Houston Texans organization, trying to figure out what they're doing and try to help them make the right decision. But to publicly say you want to help pick the coach, that's a little much. And then to also say you want to pick the GM, that's a little much. I mean, what other quarterback has ever wanted to do that? I mean, even Aaron Rodgers didn't get to pick a quarterback in Green Bay. He got LaFleur and was like, I don't even know this guy, and had to work it out. Like, he had to fall in line. It's a military-esque sport, and this guy's like ruining the chain of command. So, okay, like you wanted to pick the coach and you wanted to pick the GM and you didn't get to do that and you're mad. Like, do you even know Nick Caserio? Have you met him? How do you know he's not good? A lot of organizations been trying to get that guy for years. He's been groomed by Belichick for a long time. He might be the right guy.
Yeah.
So like, what are you mad about, man? Like, what is you should have been mad about DeAndre. You should have been on a 10 about Hopkins because that was your guy and you went 4-12 without him. But Bill O'Brien's gone, dude. He's incompetent. He's gone. You actually have a very well-respected executive in the building. Why don't you give him a shot? So to me, I feel like, dude, like he's 25 and he's got probably $40 million in the bank. I think he's feeling himself a little bit right now. And I think if he could just go for like a week-long vacation somewhere, which I think he's probably doing, just think it over. It may not be that bad. Give it a chance, Deshaun. You may come to the 49ers and realize that Jed York ain't it either. You know what I'm saying? So you don't know. Yeah. The grass ain't always greener, bro.
The one thing to counter,
sure.
I don't think it was ever stated that he wanted to pick the general manager or the head coach. He was just told that he was going to be involved in the conversations. And I guess he was caught by surprise when Caserio was hired because that was never ran by him. Not that he expects it to be ran by him, but I understand where he's coming from. Like if my superior tells me that you're going to be involved in the decision-making in the process, not in the outcome, just in the process, and that doesn't end up happening, you would start to question your worth to the franchise. Like, how are you going to tell me to my face that I have a role in this discussion and that my input's valued, and then turn around and just completely go back on your word and not involve me? So I understand where he's coming from, and I think it's justified.
Sure. All I'm saying is there's other quarterbacks who've had grievances too. Jimmy could have a grievance with the Niners right now about a lot of things. Andrew Luck could have had a grievance with the Colts about a lot of things. You keep this in-house. If you have an issue with them, you talk to them privately. And if you think it's irreparable, ask for a trade. Going on Twitter and being like, my anger was at 2, but now it's at 10. Dude, you sound 17, man. Come on. You're a $40 million franchise quarterback. You handle this behind closed doors. If you can't fix it, ask for a trade, one or the other. Saying your anger's at a 10, it sounds like an idle parent, a parent who's a bad dad, a parent who comes in and doesn't have any control of his kid. And you know what? If you disobey me 13 more times, I swear I'm going to do something about it. That's what it's like. You ain't going to do nothing, Deshaun. You ain't doing nothing. Do something. Yeah. Ask for the trade. Don't tell me you're mad. Ask for the trade. Or don't. I'm sorry. I just feel like Deshaun Watson is – maybe I would have done the same thing at 25. But I'm not 25. I'm 33 now. And I'm just saying, Deshaun, I feel like you are overstepping this a little bit.
There's just a lot to question, too, because when I think of made publicly, I think of at a press conference making these comments. Supposedly, word got around that he was supposed to be involved in decision-making. He never came out and said, I was expecting this. Publicly, from what I understand. And then his tweet was also, I was on 2, then I took it to 10. So he never actually incorporated the word angry. But of course, that's all the speculation because of what came out earlier with Schefter saying he was a level 2 angry when Hopkins.
Do you understand how much we would crush Jimmy G if he tweeted like this? If he was subtweeting the Niners, we would crush him. Crush him.
Crush him. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. But I think that there's
makes me crack up. It's like, okay.
With the history of the Texans organization and there's a lot. It's just a lot. A lot weighing him down.
I don't want to argue with you anymore because you're right and I'm wrong. I just thank you for entertaining me. Do you have anything you want to say, Maverick?
You were talking about psychological experiments last week when we were on the show, and I feel like you have a perfect example to do that with the age demographic of Nick and I. And you were talking about 25-year-olds, what they would do. Just test us in the next couple of weeks, see what happens. Well,
he's your age group, right? You guys are in the same generation. All right, let's do. Hey, I'll say I was wrong. Okay, good for you, Deshaun Watson. Get that. Be happy. Do what you need. Go play for the Brooklyn Nets. That's where everyone's going these days. Let's talk about.
Oh boy,
Maverick, you're in charge. You are the man now.
Okay, here we go. So this is mostly in honor of the news from yesterday with Robert Sala getting hired by the Jets. I'm not sure if you saw that news. And DeMeco Ryans being the defensive coordinator. Is that official or is that just the rumor right now, Grant?
I think it's kind of official.
Okay, so we all think that's going to happen, or it's just a matter of time. But so mostly Jets 49er Robert Sala theme. So let's start it here with the first category, Jets versus 49ers. So
Oh God.
the first question is, what 3 49ers scored the 4 touchdowns against the Jets in the fateful Week 2 game this year at the Meadowlands?
Ooh. Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Do we just go one at a time?
However you want to do it.
What?
If you
What?
say one, then I'll say one.
What 3 49ers scored the 4 touchdowns against the Jets?
Yeah, so one
Okay.
person scored 2 touchdowns. You have to give me which one.
Should we do it this like Final Jeopardy? Like we write it down and then they show it up to the screen.
Yeah, if you want to do that.
Oh,
It's a 3-part answer.
it's a
Well,
3-part answer. I gotta find my post.
Each of you say the 3 players, and then at the end, tell me which guy scored twice.
What's
I know who scored twice.
okay.
But I forget who got scored the other times.
Wait? So there was 4 total touchdowns.
Yeah, in Week 2,
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
fateful game that turned the season upside down.
Oh my God! I can't find a pen. I can't find anything around here. I'm ill prepared.
What's the point? I only know one. So I'm
All right. I got 2. I got 2.
A lot of
Okay.
people in the comments got it right, so don't check those out.
I'm not even looking. Okay. Well, right off the bat, Raheem Mostert had a long touchdown on the first play of the game.
That's correct.
he did
75
And
yards. Jordan Reed had 2 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the 2
Um,
I have written down. I just don't have a third one. So I don't know.
But,
Reed Mostert. I don't have a third one.
Raheem, no. Third touchdown. Third touch. Is there a defensive touchdown? No. Was it Brandon Ayuk? I know there was. It was either the Jets or the Giants game where there was the reverse. He scored on an end around in one of those 2 games. Man.
Let me know when you give up.
I give up.
There's a hint in their opponent.
It wasn't
They
it.
were playing the Jets.
Oh yeah. No, but I just saw people say McKinnon. I don't think
Yeah.
so. Neither one gets the point. Neither one gets the point. Good
So yeah,
question.
McKinnon. A lot of people got that in the comments, I guess.
I'm turning the comments off. I'm going to the private chat so I don't see.
And McKinnon had 4 touchdown in each of the first 4 games, if I remember correctly, right? He got off to a hot start. Yeah.
And remember that was a game Mostert left at halftime, so it was pretty much McKinnon and Mullins for the second half.
He's Mostert, Garoppolo, and Bosa and Sherman were all out by like the halftime of Week 2. Wow.
Was that the game Emmanuel Mosley got concussed in as well, or was that the Giants? Yeah, that was a great game for fun.
And wasn't that the game where Jerick McKinnon had like a carry on 3rd and 30 and picked up like 35 yards? And it is for the next 5 weeks, his rushing average is completely inflated because of that one carry.
So who was the Jets quarterback when they beat the 49ers in overtime at Levi's Stadium in 2016?
I know right now. I know.
I'll go get it, Grant.
Okay, go. It is Bryce Petty. That is correct.
Oh.
That was the dude I liked coming out of. I remember he went to Baylor. I was like, this guy's got a nice. He can throw downfield. Oh,
This isn't a question, but do you remember who scored the winning touchdown?
yes, I do. Ah, man, it was their running back, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Bilal Powell.
Yeah, that's
Hey!
correct.
Wow, that's really a great go.
He was great in that game. He ran his ass off.
That was at that moment I knew, the Niners are in trouble for the next couple years.
Yeah.
What
Didn't Carlos Hyde go for 200 in that game?
Sorry?
Didn't Carlos Hyde go for 200 in that game?
I'd have to go back and look, but I'll take it.
And then also, I think the Niners lost because they went for it on 4th and 1 in the Jets territory, and it was just a little handoff to Hyde up the middle, and they got stuffed. Anyway, great game.
What 49er scored his first career touchdown in the 2012 Week 4 34-0 shutout over the Jets?
Colin Kaepernick.
That's correct.
Ooh, yeah, cool. Was it on a quarterback draw?
Yeah, he came in. Alex was starting, and Cap came in.
You were ready with that. Okay, 1-1. 1-1.
In another overtime game between the teams, Garrison Hurst broke off a 96-yard run to beat the Jets in the 1998 opener. What receiver led the 49ers with 111 yards and 2 touchdowns?
1998?
Terrell Owens.
Jerry Rice.
J.J. Stokes.
No.
You said the other two, but J.J. Stokes somehow it might have been.
Nice. UCLA's finest.
Yeah. Nick
Nice.
Mullins and Sam Darnold both had 2 wins this season. Who threw for more yards?
Oh, Nick Mullins. Definitely Nick Mullins.
I'm trying to think of how many games Sam Darnold missed. Because if he played more games, oh man, I'm gonna say Sam Darnold.
It's Mullins, 2,437 yards to 2,208 yards.
Nick Mullins is the most prolific passer in NFL history. People don't understand. He's the most prolific passer of all. Not the best.
Please, everyone watching, don't think that was something where I would say I'd rather have Mullins than Darnold or anything. That has no bearing. It was a stat. Yeah, I put a number out there.
Stat. I like
Okay, next one is Sala and D'Amico. So it's Robert Sala and D'Amico Ryan themed
2-1,
questions.
I'm winning, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
2-1.
2-1. I got that last one. All right. Well, all right. So tell me, go again.
It's Robert Sala and D'Amico Ryan themed questions.
Okay.
Great.
So what position did Robert Sala play in college at Northern Michigan?
Tight end.
Grant got first.
Oh,
You're messing around this week, Nick.
I know.
Who was D'Amico Ryan's head coach his last year in the NFL?
Ooh.
Head coach.
Andy Reid.
Grant, Nick.
No, it wasn't. It's Chip
No.
Kelly, wasn't it? Damn it.
Well, you took away Nick's answer.
That was a jerk.
Yeah, Greg gave 2 answers.
Let's give Nick the point on that one.
Yeah.
Listen,
That
yeah.
was freaky.
Yeah,
No point.
It was Chip Kelly was the coach.
I'm going to
And
deduct
then-
it.
Do you remember who the interim coach when Chip Kelly was out was? He ended up being a head coach afterwards.
Pat Shurmur.
That's correct.
Wow.
I'm taking
I'm
my
getting
point
destroyed this week.
Yeah. Well, hey, you can come back. Don't worry.
All
I hope so.
Robert Sala and Matt LaFleur were GAs under Brian Kelly in 2004 at Central Michigan. What is the name, like as in UCLA Bruins, Oregon Ducks? What is the name of CMU?
Say that one more time.
What is like the mascot name of Central Michigan? Where LaFleur and Sala.
The Chippewas.
Yeah.
Chippewa.
That was
Got it. But what player on the 49ers was there at the same time that those two were there? He's no longer on the
Joe Staley.
Joe Staley. Yep. All right. 2-2. It's 2-2.
What team did Sala coach D'Amico Ryans on?
Texans. 3-2. I just pulled ahead. 3-2.
Well,
They met each other. Shanahan was on that staff too. I think LaFleur was as well. Greg Roman was as well.
Keep them coming. Is there anyone else?
I don't know if maybe Fangio, maybe not. No, I don't think so. Anyway,
Fred Warner set a career high with 125 tackles this season. Over under 2 times D'Amico Ryans eclipsed that.
over under 2. I'll go under.
Grant's right with over. He did it 3 times. He had 127 tackles twice in 07 and 13. And then D'Amico Ryan's rookie year, he had 156 tackles.
He was amazing.
The reason I went under is I think he made the Pro Bowl twice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or what? Yeah, it was an All Pro. So I was going with I took a gamble going with the Pro Bowl numbers.
Spoiled with linebackers for a little bit in that era. Ryans and Patrick Willis, like going, I think back-to-back years.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so that's the end of that category. What's the score?
4-2.
Okay, final category, and then there's a final Jeopardy. Okay, anniversaries, meaning mostly themed off of yesterday being January 14th, which for some reason is a big day in 49er history. Today's the 15th, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Yesterday, the 14th, is a big day in 49er history. So yesterday was not only Sala's hiring day, it was the 6-year anniversary of Jim Tom Sula being hired. Name the 5 teams Tom Sula beat in 2015.
Oh man. Was the Vikings?
That's one. Okay, Nick or Grant, you get a chance.
He beat the Rams week 1.
No, the Vikings was week 1, right?
Lose. You get the point.
That's when Carlos Hyde had that spin move.
It was Vikings, yeah, because the Rams week 1 were the Chip Kelly the next year, right?
Mhm. Yeah, they were 1-0 on Monday night, 2 straight years, right?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
the Niners like 5-3 at home that season and 0-8 on the road under Tom Sula. They won 5 games at home. Did they beat Cincinnati?
no. I can give you. Well, they did beat the Rams. Grant, you were correct. It wasn't the week 1, so we'll give you that point. So it's tied. So is your next guess Cincinnati then?
Yeah, and I'm wrong, so I lose this one.
Okay,
so this was 2014, 2015. So that would have been the AFC opponents were. Who were they in 2018? 15, 16, 17, 18. They were not the.
A lot of people.
The AFC. It would have been the AFC West, right? That was the.
No, that was 14.
Are you sure?
Didn't they play?
They beat one AFC team, and then they have 2 more NFC wins.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
No more division wins.
Okay. So it was the who was last year? The AFC North.
They definitely didn't beat the Steelers. They lost by 1 million points to the Steelers. I remember that.
Oh, that was week 2.
They didn't beat the Browns. I was there for that.
Mm-hmm.
They lost to Johnny Manziel.
Did they get a win against the Cardinals?
They did not. So I'll give you Ravens was their 1 AFC win.
Wow, I would have.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, unless I read the schedule wrong.
I do not remember this season. God.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you pick a season to not remember, I think this is one of the leading candidates.
Mine was 2016.
Yeah. And then Atlanta. Remember, that's the Selleck game, correct? And well, I think Selleck caught 2 touchdowns in that game, and
if you say so.
Okay. Yeah, and then Chicago.
Oh, that's when Robbie Gould missed the kicks, right? And then Jed York tweeted out after, "Fun game."
That was
I just have to form my questions in forms of Jed York memes, and then Grant will go 100%.
No, Robbie Gould. That's the one where he missed 3 kicks, and when the Niners signed him, was like, that's the worst kicker of all time. Actually, the most accurate kicker of all time. Okay. So that's a Nick point. So it's 4-3.
Oh, because I got the first one. Oh, we're making it interesting again. All right.
I got like 4 wrong answers, so I definitely lose that point.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll remember to stay away from Jim Tomsula answers for future.
That's please.
Wow. That's teasing never happened apparently.
Yeah. Yesterday was also the 5-year anniversary of hiring Chip Kelly.
Ooh.
True or false? The offensive guru's highest scoring game with the 49ers was 28.
I'll say true.
I'm going to say false.
It was the 28-0 victory over the Rams. The first game, he scored 28, and he never scored more than that the rest of the season.
I have a bonus question. Who is the player the opposing player that slammed his helmet in that game out of frustration?
Oh, I remember. I was at that game.
I don't remember.
He got ejected. Aaron Donald was so frustrated he got ejected in that game. No.
So bonus point on Chip Kelly, just because I like reminiscing about the Chip Kelly era.
It was a great era.
Who is the one 49er that is still technically on the 49ers from that draft?
Mostert. No, from that draft.
From that draft.
Grant used his answer already.
He didn't listen.
Eric Armstead.
No. Ronald Blair. It was the Buckner draft.
Man, you could have taken your time with that one too. You could have sat on it.
Armstead was Tom Sula.
I had it. Oh no. All right.
Chip Kelly's draft: DeForest Buckner, Josh Garnett, Will Redmond, Rashard Robinson, Ronald Blair, John Thues, however you pronounce that, Fawn Cooper, Jeff Driscoll. Oh, Theus? Okay. Fawn Cooper, Jeff Driscoll, Kelvin Taylor, Aaron Burbridge, and Prince Charles Iwara.
I'm so surprised that Aaron Burbridge didn't work out. That guy seemed like he had potential. He wasn't big, fast, or quick. I don't understand why it didn't work.
I saw. I met John. What is it? John Thues? John Thies? What did we say it was? I met him at a Chance the Rapper concert in the city one time. It was so random. He was. This is the story. Yeah. So he was wearing a 49er hat, and I went up to him. I was like, "Hey man, I'm a 49er fan. I just wanted to come introduce myself." We drank a beer together, and he goes, "Yeah, man, you must really be a 49er fan if you know me," because he was like, what, 6th or 7th round draft pick. So he was a cool guy. But hey, I have a bonus question. while we keep it, since we're keeping it Jets oriented. So when the Jets came to, I forget what year it was. I want to say Brett Favre was the quarterback. Patrick Willis laid that hit on a wide receiver that knocked him out. I was there in that game. It was the loudest hit I've ever heard. He concussed the wide receiver. Which wide receiver was it that he hit?
Well, Brandon Marshall, right? That would be the year.
No. Wasn't it a wide receiver with a number who started with a 1?
Yep.
And a 6 at the end?
Mm-hmm.
Jericho Cotchery?
Nope.
I'm out there.
Brad Smith or something?
Yeah, Brad Smith.
Brad Smith.
Yeah.
He was,
I remember I was in college when that happened.
I think he was a college quarterback.
Yes.
Yeah, he might have been, yeah.
Yeah, there were some terrible players on the Jets back then. It still are.
Yesterday was also the 9-year anniversary of the playoff win over New Orleans.
Oh, trivia still going on?
Yeah, we got
that was
three.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
questions.
thought we had double Jeopardy already. Okay.
No.
There's 3 more
4.
questions than Final Jeopardy.
What's the score?
I don't know.
4-4. 4-4.
Okay.
Yesterday was also the 9-year anniversary of the playoff win over New Orleans, at least I think from Pro Football Reference.
Mm-hmm.
Who caught the touchdown to put New Orleans up before the Vernon Davis game-winning touchdown?
Jimmy Graham.
That's correct.
Right. Yeah, good call.
And here, I'll give you a follow-up story. I was on TV on the Fox 2 broadcast with a towel over my head right after that touchdown was scored. I'll post it on Twitter later, I swear. Right after that touchdown, they zoomed in on me. It was brutal.
Like 15?
And then, I was a junior in high school. Yeah, so I was about 15, 16.
All right. You got the lead now. 3 unanswered points from Nick Newman.
Yeah, you gotta make your move, Grant. Prior to beating the Broncos in Super Bowl 24, XXIV, I think is 24. The 49ers beat what team 30-3 on January 14th, 1990 in the NFC Championship. So to get to the Super Bowl 24, what team did they beat in the NFC Championship?
Super Bowl 24. I wasn't alive.
I wasn't alive either. That's a tough. Come on, Maverick.
Someone got it in the comments.
Can you ask the question again? I'm not looking at the
1990, January 14th. Who did the 49ers beat in the NFC Championship to get to the Super Bowl?
I don't know.
30-3.
Was it at home or on the road?
I think it was at home. But yeah, Art Renoy got the score, everything.
All right.
The Rams.
The Rams? Oh, yeah. I wouldn't have gone that.
Chris Everett? Dang.
Yeah.
Acting like you knew that, Maverick.
Well, no, I didn't, but I Google searched this day in 49er history and got some good stuff online. And then the final one, because I could only find 4 good trivia questions. So this is just one because it's in January 14th. One is in the month. If drafted by the 49ers, Ohio State quarterback Justin Fields would be the first number 1 on San Francisco since what fellow Buckeye?
Oh, I got it. Troy Smith.
That's correct.
Oh,
tying it up right before Final Jeopardy. All right. Troy Smith was a baller in college.
Yeah. Well,
I thought they were going to make the playoffs that year with Troy Smith at quarterback. I thought that'd be the craziest.
Yeah.
And so did Mike Singletary.
He beat, was it the Broncos that he beat when they played over?
Yes.
They played like an international game, right? And he beat the Broncos. Yeah.
Okay, Final Jeopardy. It's Sala held an opponent under 10 points 7 times as defensive coordinator in San Francisco. Name the 7 teams. We'll alternate.
Oh my.
Or how about you guys both just write down 7 teams and then we'll go Grant and then we'll
go. Give us 30 seconds.
Yeah.
I'm going to use my notes.
So I guess I'll talk to the fans while it's going on. What do you think about Kyle Trask? I'm sure Grant will love to read the comments afterwards.
You're breaking my train of thought. Damn it. Hold on. I got 1. 7, you say? 7?
7 teams. He held under 10 points. So not including 10. Under 10.
Oh, under. I thought it was 7. Okay. I can work with 10.
No, he did it 7 times. So you name 7 teams. There are no repeats.
That's 1. I got 2.
I got 3.
Chiefs.
That's
another one.
How much more time we got?
I believe I'll give you 20 more seconds. I'm seeing some good ones in the comments. I think if I add up all the comments, there's all 7.
I'm not looking in the comments.
Mark Torero asked me if I think Shanahan can develop a quarterback. I'd like him to get a chance with someone outside of Beathard and Mullins. That'd be cool. But if they got the opportunity to get an already established quarterback, I think that would be good too. Stafford is awesome, in my opinion. Deshaun Watson. But that'd take a lot of picks.
I got 7 names.
You got 7 names?
I'm not right, but I have 7 things I wrote down. So
okay, Grant, what are your 7?
Oh, we have to do it like that and see who gets.
No, let's alternate. Let's alternate.
Okay, Grant, give me one.
Cleveland.
Okay.
Well, is that right or no?
That is right. Did you get that?
Well, I thought about the Browns, but I didn't have it on my sheet, so I'll be
okay.
All right.
It's like death and stuff. It's like PKs.
The Washington football team 2019 in that one rainy game.
Okay, Nick got that.
Good one. That's 2. The Patriots this year in New England.
Grant got that.
That's 3.
The Rams in 2019 in LA.
Yeah.
The Raiders in 2018, Thursday Night Football.
Yep.
The Giants week 3 this year.
That's also correct.
Oh my God.
So it's whoever gets this last one.
I have one more team. I have one team written
one
down.
More.
But
you both have 3.
Oh man, this is it, Grant. This is it.
The winner of this question, I believe, wins.
Lots at stake here.
And it's my turn. I get first crack at it.
If you have a guess, do it.
All right. I'm just buying time right now, right?
Do you have a guess? If not, I'm going to pass it to
Carolina last year.
That's incorrect.
Oh, I'm going to say the Bengals week 2, 2019.
Also incorrect.
Ah!
Can I go double for nothing? Since we both
we're going to keep going till someone gets it.
Okay. Broncos 2018.
No.
Okay.
It was
that was a good guess. That was
the NFC Championship squad.
The NFC Championship squad.
Packers.
It was the Packers.
Oh, well, there's no way. Grant gave it. I mean, Maverick gave a freebie on that one. Well, that's all right. Well, we even the score. It's 1-1. 1-1. I won last week. You win this week.
Yeah.
We'll call.
Yes.
I defended all the marbles.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
If I had taken my job, so I really needed to rally. You know.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm sure we'll get plenty of chances unless I get fired or everyone unsubscribes because they hate it. So we'll find out which one happens first. But
I like trivia. Trivia is fun. I hope
that trivia is fun. Yep.
Thank you for doing this every week.
Yeah, right on, Matt.
All right, guys. It's 3:00 on a Friday. Go outside. Go take a walk. You know, go look at go smell the fresh air. It's a wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching with us, and we'll be back pretty soon. Take care.